Pow!
Oh, yeah.
Hi, welcome to YOLO with ToLo. Okay,
And
look, we're real life.
Like, he's right there.
He's right here.
Not through the
Anyway,
screen.
what's up? Welcome to episode 29 of YOLO with ToLo. I'm Toan.
I'm Lonell. I can't believe it's episode 29.
I know, episode 29. And guess what? Special edition. We're in Chicago.
Chicago, Illinois tonight. How hilarious is that?
I know, right? I'm so glad to be here with you in vivo, in real life. This week we got a special episode, not only because we're together, but this is a topic that I've been talking to a lot of people about, and it's funny because I talked to you about it. Kevin, who's producing today, he brought it up too, without unbeknownst to me. But I've had a lot of conversations recently about challenging yourself, when to challenge yourself more, when you're not challenging yourself enough, and really when to push through. When is that time to push through for that miracle to happen? So today, in segment 1 of ToLo's topics.
Oh, wow, I get to see the signs in person. Look, I've never seen these signs in person.
I brought my folder, you're making fun of it, but our low-budget show.
I love it.
I hand drew these, see? Segment 1, ToLo's top topics. Okay, so we're going to talk about our crazy experience today. And
oh, my gosh.
Lonell always says that his friend Oprah says that she doesn't believe in coincidences.
I don't either.
Yeah, you don't either, and I don't either. Just divine order and things that happen. So, a lot of crazy things happened to us today.
Yes.
Including this. We have a special guest who we'll bring on later who came from Manchester.
England, in the UK.
Hebden Bridge, excuse me. Fiona, who's come here, who's helps us with some PR stuff, and who's just a soul sister of mine. We'll introduce you guys in a bit. But the craziness is, we've been trying to get together for the last 3 years. We met at a castle at our friend Kat and Jules' wedding. And then finally this time opened up, and this October we were able to get together. And then it just so happened that I was going to be here on a trip in Chicago for a speaking engagement. And then Lonell was like, wait, you going to be there?
I said, I'm coming back from Germany, and I'm going to be a day in Chicago. And then I said, I probably can extend it a day. And then, pow.
Yeah, and then
here we are.
We're here. And then the crazy thing is, Fiona wanted to go to, what was the record place?
Reckless Records.
Yeah.
Someplace I've passed a million times in Chicago, but never paid attention to.
And so we're like, okay, go with the flow. Like, no itinerary, no timeline, whatever. And then, all of a sudden, somebody, like, tap, tap, tap on the window.
On the window. And I thought it was somebody crazy. Because I'm like, okay. I'm looking back like, girl, I don't know you. And she's looking like it looks like she's looking a little past me, but it looks like she's looking at me. And I'm just like, girl, I don't know you. And so, I give that like awkward smile. Like, okay,
like,
let's entertain the crazy lady.
I'm like, oh my God, it's Constance. And Constance was my brother-in-law. They grew up like good friend growing up in Fort Myers, Florida. And I met her at the funeral of my brother-in-law last year. And it's just, we've been meaning to meet up, and she's come into my consciousness. We've kind of pinged each other and said, let's get together at some point. And then, boom, we met up here, which was quite interesting. And then our dinner happened. And
oh, yes.
We went to Pisano's Pizza. For you Chicagoans, is that what you call it? Chicagoans?
I guess. Okay. Is that what they're called? I don't know.
I think. Anyway. So, there's 2 pizza places, Giordano's, right, and Pisano's.
Right,
and, like, we're just like, okay, let's just go Pisano's. And they're both, like, equal distance from where we're at. And so we go to this place, and then there's this man named Chach who serves us. Bigger than life.
Much bigger.
Big personality.
Huge personality.
Huge. You know when somebody walks into the room and you're like, dang, that's somebody.
Yeah.
That is somebody,
yes.
Right? Yeah, this was Chach, and he right away just came in and like shook our hands and introduced himself to Fiona, and then Lonell and me, and then he just started waxing all this stuff about how I see you guys are doing good for the world.
Right. He knew, totally unprompted. He really just, and at first you think it's like, maybe it's his shtick, he does this at every table.
That's what we thought.
But we were watching him interact with every table, and he was animated with everyone, but not nearly as amped up as he was at our table. Yeah. And you could really feel like the energetic connection of like his spirit. It was just amazing. And at first we're like, we're really hungry, dude. Can you just save the speech because we get some pizza on this damn table?
But I was eating my salad. I was like, I wasn't even waiting for your salad.
God, it was like, but he really was saying some great stuff.
Yeah. So a couple of takeaways. One was that he was like, keep on doing what you're doing, and you guys, I know a lot of you guys are going through challenges in your life, and if you're not raising your hand, that's a lie, because we're all going through some sort of challenge, right? Me too. And we all want something to happen, and so many of us live in the future, and whether it's like, oh, I want a talk show, or I want to get my PhD, or I want to be a rock star or an actor or whatever, right? So many people, me included, sometimes forget about the present moment. And he reminded us, he's like, keep doing what you're doing. And I really believe that God sends real life angels in flesh to us to remind us, and he knew all these things about us.
Yep.
And he was just like, keep doing what you're doing. I see that you're doing good in this world, and remember to stay in the present moment, because that's what's most important in life. And that's what I got from him.
And what I loved about he talked about growing up and how he was taught. He was half of his family was from Greece and the other was
Italy. Yeah, Sicily. Yeah.
And he was talking about, even as a child, how he was taught not to judge other people, and you could immediately, and especially in the American culture, come into a restaurant and judge your server. Okay, you already see them as some type of less than.
Yes.
But,
you're just a server.
Right, you're just a server. Blah blah blah. Put your, get my food kind of thing. But it was like, no. But we saw his humanity. I see everybody's. I try to see everybody's humanity.
Yes.
But he saw that in us, and we saw that in him, and he just really just espoused all this wonderful knowledge. Yeah. But he grew up that way. Yeah. He grew up that way, being taught not to judge people. Yeah. So
and it was a really beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And then we just started talking about the magic that has ensued, about how I met you.
Right.
Talked about that a lot in past episodes, and just even Fiona, who you're about to meet.
Who I just met today, and totally hit it off.
Right? And it's just like, you just know when you meet people and they're your tribe. And it's pretty amazing thing. Hi, Flo. I see you. What's up? Flo. Anyway, so yeah, it was quite an adventurous day. And, we actually took a couple of videos, and we'll ask Kevin to post it later. Of us just asking him a couple questions, just so that you could see. He calls himself the Chach. And the funny thing is, he was like, all I do is I give love, because there's a point where in life where you feel like, he said, in life I'm can't be too greedy and wear two baseball gloves. You got to take one off and throw the ball.
Right.
And so he's like, I'm giving back to you guys. I'm giving you my energy. And he, not sort of, but he became, we Googled him, and he became a sort of like Insta famous and interwebs famous.
Yep, just hashtag the Chach. He said he doesn't read any of that stuff. He's not on social media. He's not even barely on the internet. But he actually has a following, and it was pretty amazing. And he's kind of flirty too.
Yeah. Oh. Oh yeah. He gave you his number.
Gave me his number, and I kept it. Actually, don't be surprised.
He was all over. He was like, "Oh, why are you single? What's your situation?"
He kept saying, "I've been rich and I've been poor." And I'm like, "Well, now this relationship might depend on what your current status is. I'm still in my human form, people. I'm sorry." No, he was really.
No, yeah, it was innocent. It was like really beautiful. Yeah. I was like, "Dang, boo, he got thank for you." But no, he was genuine in spirit, and I think that so many times in society nowadays, it's like we're always looking at, we had talked about this. It's like whatever career we're in, or whoever we may know, or whatever's in our circle, or whatever it is. I think sometimes people just may put you in a certain category, but you don't. The truth is, you really don't know anybody's story. He seems super fascinating, and what he manifested, because I believe what you give to the world, you really get tenfold. And he was saying how, there's this one power couple, and they actually have connections to the publishing world, so they are actually working with him to publish a book. So I'm really interested in seeing kind of what comes up in that.
He helped me dump the hump today, actually, because I've been going through some crazy old stuff, just weekday challenges.
Boo, yes.
Encountering him today was actually how I was able to dump the hump.
Wait, I thought it was me and Fiona. No.
Kind of, sort of, a little bit. But he was like...
True that, yeah.
Awesome. Because I was expecting greatness from the two of you. Yeah. So I already knew what I was expecting. I already had high expectations there. He just took it to a whole other level because he rose out. He came out of nowhere.
Yeah, totally came out of nowhere. So...
Divine.
Divine. No, seriously, it was honestly a divine opportunity, and I can't wait for you guys to see the video that we post of him. And you know what? It made me realize too that he said something amazing. He goes, "I know my power."
Right.
Right, and I know how to use it. And how do you know how to use your power unless you really go through challenges? And we always talk about how challenges are here to teach us something. So the big dump the hump question in terms of helping you get past your hump, whether you want to manifest something to happen or you're living in the future, I want to ask you, Lonell, when do you know if you've challenged yourself enough or not?
Wow, I think for each person there's probably a different answer. I know for me, if I am just feeling complacent. I mean, there's like, I get this like energy where like, okay, yeah, things are kind of cool, and then I just kind of sit and coast in that, and I was like, okay, bitch, it's time to step it up. Sorry about that, but it's like, no, it's time to step it up, because you don't want to become complacent, but you still want to be in the moment that you can enjoy, you know, the fruits of your labor or whatever this lesson is that you're experiencing, but at the same time, you just don't want to kind of get stuck in that, because you can get stuck in the good just like you can in the bad. But so I know, just like if I'm feeling too, my spirit is like, no, it's time to go, it's time to go, it's time to go, and then it's like, okay, well now it's time to dream bigger. It's time to dream bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's a never-ending process. So when I start to feel like, okay, you've arrived or like you've completed the process, then that's when it's time to, okay, now you need to push further. That's good. Push further.
I agree 1,000%, and I want to also mention that it's very important for you to listen to we always talk about inner GPS. Absolutely. And I really believe that you're born with this thing. It's your gut, and you got to follow that gut, and you know deep down inside if you're betraying yourself.
Absolutely.
And at night when you go to bed, you got to answer yourself, and I believe God, you know, and are you,
and not just at night, throughout the day
basically.
It's true.
Or a bigger challenge will come, but really, like, in your heart, do you know if there's something, for example, that super excites you, like you want to open up a bakery, or you want to get into acting, but you're in this corporate job that you feel stuck in? Do you know, when you know that, can you rework your schedule as to where maybe, you know, once a week, you know, you work on your art?
Something, you've got to carve out that time to do that.
And you know, if you're, you know, hey Tran, but you know whether or not in your heart, if you're, you know, you're betraying yourself.
If you're betraying yourself.
That's the worst kind of betrayal, even more than Bonita betrayal. No, I don't know if people remember Bonita betrayal.
If y'all remember that, then you are up there in age with us.
I know. Anyway, I'm dating myself, but you're a little older than me. But anyway.
I remember her all too well.
Yeah, okay, Miss Bonita betrayal. Anyway, look it up, Bonita betrayal. Anyway, so, I believe that, you know, I just want to, like, eat my way through life and experience my way through life and fully express myself through life and be the best I can be, and love as much as I can love. And I feel like if I am scared to do something like be a TV reporter, when I know that when I wanted to be a TV reporter, I was like, you know what? So many people are like, oh, less than 2% of people make it. There are more TV reporting, acting jobs than TV reporting jobs out there. That's a fact in each city. So I knew that in my heart, I would be would be regretful and not happy with myself if I didn't try. And the outcome wasn't as important as just trying. Yeah, because I might have tried and been like, nope. Bye, Felicia.
And you can't look at it like, oh God, there's from the scope of limitation, like, okay, there's only X amount of acting jobs out there. Well, the truth is, you need to look at like, well, I only need the one. I only need mine.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you approach it from that energy space, that energetic space, you have no choice but to move forward and be successful. And successful may not necessarily mean landing that job, but it will bring you to the awareness of whatever is the next right step.
Absolutely. And our spiritual teacher, aka waiter at Pisano's, the Chach, said, I know my power.
I know my power.
And there is nobody else like me that has my power. And I thought that was really amazing. And that definitely comes through experiencing life. Right. You know, you have to experience life in order to actually
You can't be numb going through it. You need to be fully invested in it so that you are experiencing the highs and the lows.
Yeah. So it's such a beautiful experience. I feel like being able to experience that with you and Fiona and the Chach. And Google him. It's amazing. We'll
hashtag the Chach. Yeah.
That's it. CHACH. A bomb. Anyway, onward to, we want to hear from you guys. Segment 3. Blip, blip. I love this. Is one of my favorite kind of.
Actually, I'm forgetting. I get to hold these.
Okay, you got to hold it this week.
This is kind of cool.
Talk to ToLo. Wait, you can't. You have to show this.
The little part.
Thought bubble
like,
here.
Yeah, so
hold it right, boo. Hold it right.
There we go.
Okay, so today we got some good questions. Okay, so the first one is question from Suzanne from Marin, California.
And where did Suzanne's question go? Where was it? It was
right up there.
There we are at the top there. Why do we often tell ourselves stories to keep ourselves small? Woo!
That's good.
Hello.
A lot of reasons. I think I love this quote that, and sorry parents out there, but I heard that your parents will say something or do something that messes every child up. Anyway, on a side note, let me explain a little bit. So I believe that things that happen to us, whether it's our parents or other people like kids at school or whatnot, bullies even,
right.
People that say something that you might let diminish your power, may somehow change the way you react or act to certain things, right? So I think that that's one of the reasons why we often tell ourselves, oh no, we can't, or we keep ourselves small. And we think it's a safer place, but it actually, I think, is quite dangerous because you don't fully express yourself. And really, I think that's the reason why we're here on Earth, is to fully express our message and to make the world a better place.
Yeah, I agree. And I believe that we tell ourselves these stories because we don't believe in the power of the manifestation of our dreams.
Oh,
so,
whoa, back up. Say that again, bro.
So if you don't believe in the power of the manifestation of what's been placed in your heart, then of course you're moving from the fear space, and it's easy to keep yourself small or tell yourself these stories like, well, you don't really deserve that because if you reach for that way over there, everybody's going to tell you how crazy you are.
Yeah.
But of course, now when you get to that point, everybody's going to be on the
I knew that they would. I know. I knew that they would be like that.
Yeah. So if you want to, instead of, we tell ourselves stories to keep ourselves small because it's comfortable. Yes. It's that space we know, and then we don't necessarily have to challenge ourselves because if we don't quite make it, then we don't really have to say we failed. And it's not, it's not really a failure. It's really an opportunity to learn, to point you in the right direction. But a lot of people, they just find comfort in keeping them small. But you do yourself no service. You don't do the world any service to keep yourself small. You just don't.
Yeah. And it reminds me of my favorite quote, which we'll post up here in our show notes after Our Deepest Fear from Marianne Williamson.
Marianne Williamson,
yes. You know this one. I talked about it on the show before. I talk about it when I do public speaking or motivational speaking. And it's the one where she says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, but our deepest fear is that we are more powerful beyond measure.
Beyond measure. And we truly are.
And we're liberated from our own fear. And she then goes further talking about how dare we not say how fabulous we are. And when we do step in the light, which is one of the things that you say often, then you allow others
to see that.
Yeah.
And especially when they see that process of like how you really are owning that space, it gives them a little more courage to take the next step.
Yes.
Maybe they're not supposed to stand in their space as publicly as you are, but wherever they are in their life, because each of us, our lives are a platform of some sort, whether it be to affect one other people or 10 million others. But as long as you own that space, then you're definitely motivating the people around you. And if each of us did that, then the world would be a different place.
And it goes back to the whole idea of, look, you could be a waiter. You could be a janitor. You don't have to be a teacher. You don't have to have your own show. You don't have to be a celebrity or some sort of influencer. You have your own circle. You have your own sphere of
your
influence.
own audience.
Yeah.
And you need to be that's where the value should be in the exchange, in the transference of love and positivity, not in the platform or the job or the thing that you do or don't have.
Yeah.
So definitely get over that crap.
That's really important.
Because we look at that, we look to certain images or certain positions or levels of status as some level of achievement. And materially, it is a level of achievement. But you can be at the height of anything, the highest height, and be miserable.
Yep.
So if you don't have that balance inside, and you're going to have that whether you're waiting tables or you're the CEO.
Yeah. Amen to
That's what you need to put the work
into.
Amen
to that. Fiona, darling, has our second question.
Fiona.
And she is here visiting us. So thanks, Kevin, for posting our deepest fear quote. So Fiona has a question, darling, and she's bringing Mr. Fox.
Yeah, and she came all the way from the UK.
Hello, darling.
Hello. And she made us some of this delicious black currant.
I picked the wrong tea. We went to the grocery store.
Okay, you picked the wrong tea. So my question is, when you're challenging yourself, how do you is there any kind of steps that you can create to challenge yourself with?
Oh, wow. That is good.
Step one, I think, is realizing that you need to trust that truth.
Yeah.
Facing that thing inside you that's going to be like, oh, I feel that excitement, but I'm not listening, right, Mr. Folks?
Do I believe in myself?
Yes.
And why not? Why don't I?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think when you start there in that space, you're kind of doing the self exploration of what you need to do to challenge yourself, and that's probably the first step, and that's probably the most difficult step, because sometimes acknowledging the truth, when we've been so comfortable in being numb in the falsehoods that we've created or tolerated for it, it may be difficult to break that. But I think that's the most important step, and that will lead you to the next step.
Yeah.
And the next step could be different for anybody
everyone.
or everybody. When I started my nonprofit, my Go Inspire Go platform, I literally people started showing up, and I had lunches and I had phone calls, and then I literally talked to over 150 people.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they led me from one person to another. So it's sort of like a storybook that you're creating, right? And you got to follow that flow. And it's interesting because you had talked about earlier how some people don't want to talk to people and share, their dreams because they're afraid of naysayers. Really, you got to you do you, boo. And once you do that, it's amazing, because then when somebody hears that, oh, you want to do acting, or oh, you want to be a TV reporter, I know this person, I know that person, that's just the way the universe works.
Starts to connect.
So you have to trust in yourself first, then you need to take the steps. And no action is a wrong action. You just got to do it. And then it unfolds in a magical way.
Yeah.
It does.
Do you think it's important to manifest what you want?
Well, that's how you manifest. Yes, for sure. And to do stuff.
To know what it is before you do. Before you
better
manifest.
be very specific, because the universe has a cruel sense of humor.
Yes. I tell people, I've given people this literal assignment recently. It's write down specifically what you want.
Specifically.
That is a really, that's a really good piece of advice.
Yes.
Yes.
And specificity. Do you want a job where it allows you to pick up your kids and drop them off at school and attend all the important open houses and, plays and whatnot? Write that down. I literally wrote down one time, true story, I wrote down, I want free, universe free, complimentary free.
Right.
Yeah, right? Free, Free, and the Asian in me always wants a deal or something free. But I was free, please, baby Jesus. And I wrote this down. I was I want an office space so we can have meetings, and I can have one-on-one meetings and board meetings with people in downtown San Francisco. One of the most expensive places for real estate in America.
In America.
Yes, you're seeing that now.
I'm here.
Yes,
I'm here in America.
You're seeing that.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing is that I was and I want parking. The audacity, Now I should have said a big paycheck. No. But no kidding aside, guess what? A lawyer friend of mine was like, hey, you know what? I have a friend who gave me this office space, and I told her about you. And she's a manager of this sort of it's not WeWork, but it's another shared shared space where you can work. Boom. Here's a key card.
Wow.
And you can park.
Just because you asked.
Wow.
Yes, I know. But you have to believe. You can't kind of believe. That's kind of being pregnant. If you're I kind of believe I can be an actor. I don't know.
Right.
No, you got to fully in your heart believe.
Right.
And know that I posted this on my Toan TV Instagram, and so many people shared it. Or commented or messaged me privately. Actually, it was from a buddy of mine, Jardin, who's an actor on Broadway in New York. But he said something along the lines of that I reshared, that whatever dream you want or whatever it is that you want to happen, trust that it will happen in due time, the way it's supposed to. And I think so many of us really, Paulo Coelho, one of my favorite authors, who wrote The Alchemist, says it's we give up before the miracle happens.
Right.
And the miracle may not.
Usually right on the brink of the miracle.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean that if you had 100, interviews with people, then you didn't get your dream job. That's it. That means you just keep on going.
You keep on going.
Yes. And I think that's really important.
Awesome sauce.
Thank you,
darling.
guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Fox. Great question.
Bye, guys.
Okay. Digital detox. Okay. So I want to talk about Lisa Ling's. And I actually blogged about it. Kevin's going to upload it on goinspirego.com soon, and we'll share it. But Lisa Ling has a show on CNN called This Is Life.
This is Life.
This is Life. This is the other show.
Right.
Anyway, so This one was about how technology is making us all addicted and it's ruining people's lives. And it shook me to the core so hard that I actually now give myself very limited amount of time to check my Instagram, Facebook. I used to kind of troll like this Monday mornings when I wake up and I give myself time to like get up slowly and whatnot and ease into the day. Like I sometimes spend over an hour or hour and a half on Facebook, and then I just feel my energy being depleted.
Right.
But I ignore it, But this after I watched it on Sunday, I was like, wow, eye-opening. And so I was like, whoa. I'm only going to check it really quickly in the morning because I was waiting for Fiona. We were connecting through Facebook Messenger. Checked it. She didn't message me. Boom. Closed it down. Facebook and Instagram, quick check. And the afternoon and the evening, and that's it. Like really quick. Versus like randomly checking throughout the day all the time. Randomly like a zombie. And I was hating myself for it.
Because like you couldn't stop.
The phone. Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, that on so many levels, the in-depth reporting on the suicide that happened with this woman's daughter, to this guy whose dad was a high up there executive in one of the tech companies. She didn't say which one, but he put his son into this rehab because he was going crazy. And although that may seem extreme, I see myself becoming addicted to it, and I've started like not hating myself is a hard word, but really not happy with who I was.
Or that you're allowed, that not just you when I say that, but that we allow these moments to be stolen.
Yes.
And really, that's what. Sorry, that's what you're doing. That means time to call my Uber. Sorry. We allow these moments to be stolen or to be hijacked, if you will. And it's hard. I mean, and I know, like, I do digital, in addition to my own stuff, I do stuff for other organizations. I do social media stuff for them. And it's like, okay, it's just too much.
Yes.
It's just way too much.
Yes.
Even sometimes I can take myself away from doing mine because I'm trying to update the stuff that I've committed to do for them. It's still like being in the swamp.
Yes.
It's just different gators. It's like instead of
true.
that gator, it's that gator.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, I need a break, child.
So I want to know, what are you doing? Like, there's that, aside from just allowing myself to check my social accounts, which I'm sort of addicted to, just because it's an art form for me too.
Right.
So aside from checking just once really quickly, morning, afternoon, and night, I'm trying to, when I'm at home in the evening, put my phone in the room. Unless I'm expecting a call or a family to visit.
I don't use that excuse of the alarm. Because every hotel I stay in has an alarm and they have a wake up call. So I don't even, I turn it. I've learned to actually turn it off when I'm on the road now. Jedediah Bila, I don't know if you remember her. She used to be a guest co-host on The View. And she just wrote a book about this whole detoxing today. And I thought some of the stuff she was talking about was wonderful. And one of the things she talked about is not having the phone in your bedroom. Mm-hmm. And it's true because it's a constant. You just feel it.
Yes.
And it's like, nah. So I'm working on that. That turning the notifications off was huge, though, because I'm like, sometimes I look up and I'm like, oh, I haven't been on the phone in like an hour or whatever. Yeah. And normally I'm just like picking it up. And that app was telling me I was picking it up like 100 to 150 times a day.
The mute app.
Now it's down to about 50. So I'm making some progress.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of work to do, but I've come a long way too. So
yeah, I'm proud of you, because you even said like, oh yeah, I was with Ariana Huffington and Oprah Winfrey, and Ariana was like, why'd you?
Like, you can turn those messages. You can turn our messages
your
off
notifications.
Too. I was like, girl, turn off Oprah. Are you nuts?
You need to turn off your notifications.
But the good thing is Oprah doesn't. She's not tweeting, and she's not doing it as much as she used to. So I can take a break.
I know. No, seriously, it's become an addiction, and some just baby steps. You know, even from turning your phone, like when I'm hanging out or having dinner, I turn the phone face down so I don't see it, and I turn on mute. I put on mute. There, when you're watching the Lisa Ling This Is Life technology, the episode about technology addiction, she even goes to a laboratory in the heart of Silicon Valley, and they put little things to test her body level, her stress level, and her body. When she was tasked to do the simple experiment, playing a simple video game, but her phone is buzzing. They tasked her producers to buzz and call, text and call her, and she said, "I thought I did well," and the stress meter was
way out the sky high. Yeah, because you don't realize it, because you think you're multitasking, but there's no such thing.
So it's just like, I know that I love me some Funyuns. I ain't gonna lie. So I don't have Funyuns in my house because I'll eat the whole bag, And the same thing with the technology stuff. If it's there at arm's reach, I'm gonna grab it. So or if I see it light up, I like something goes off. Like it's is it the serotonin and that crazy thing in your brain, that chemical that like
and it just
addicts.
You up,
yes,
like,
right.
I need more.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, you gotta watch that. That was amazing. We'll you just CNN.com really.
Yeah, they'll have it on
this
there.
Is, life. Anyway, Kevin says, our producer says, how bad was the FOMO of not getting instant notifications compared to reality?
I survived.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad at all because I didn't miss it. When I didn't know that I was missing it, I didn't really miss it. So you think you can't live without it, but I lived without it before it existed.
Yeah.
And I realize now it's quite okay not knowing. Nothing earth-shattering is broken down that I've missed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because Fiona and I were taking a lot of photos, we're staying at an Airbnb here just outside of downtown Chicago, and we were like, our phones were dying. We're like, how are we gonna get back to the Airbnb? So she like old school pulled out a pen, wrote down the address, wrote down the key code for the door, and I was just like, forget the days of reading a map. I think people don't even know how to read a map or don't even know. Like, we're lost puppies, and I hate that. I hate being addicted to something and relying on something like that.
On something, yes.
So anyway, I'm gonna try to be in the present moment now and hang out with Fiona and Lanelle.
Yay! And we'll definitely share that video of the charts.
Yes.
And if I go out on a date with him, he invited me to dinner. So.
Oh, well, but yeah. Anyway,
don't be surprised.
What?
I love me a good meal.
Okay, he was like, "Oh, here, keep in touch with me. Here, drop me a line. Tell me how you're doing."
Yes, he asked for one. He's like, "Give me your business card like 4 or 5 times."
Okay, I know.
I might text him. We'll see.
I think you need to.
Yeah, I think you need to. Yeah, for some spiritual. I need a spiritual healing.
Yes.
Spiritual. Okay, I'm not gonna sing. Okay, see you guys later. Please share if you care.
See you guys later.
Take care. Bye.